Hello, Taurus. Welcome to November 2018. Thank you guys so much for being here. Scorpio season, sun oppositions, moon sun oppositions, sun ascendant oppositions for you guys. Venus retrograde, there's a lot going on. Jupiter entering into your 8th house, Mercury retrograde in the 8th house. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on for you guys this month for sure. Quick announcements. I do have the annual readings available on my website if you guys want to go check those out, along with the comprehensive, like always. And I'm going to be changing my format a little bit. I know some of you guys have been with me forever, and I always show the cards in these videos, but I'm going to switch to the weekly bump format that I was doing, where I'm just kind of doing this talking head thing while holding up the cards. So hopefully that's cool. This Venus retrograde has been extraordinarily potent for me in the terms of, because this is happening in my 2nd house. In terms of my money situation, my professionalism, my job, my career, all kinds of things, and really where this tarot channel really fits with my whole kind of all the other stuff that I have going on that no one has any idea of what I'm doing. So yeah. Making changes. We'll be bringing back the weekly bumps within the next month or so. We'll be adding a couple more things as well, just trying to keep it fun, trying to keep it light and all of that. But these monthlies will always be dedicated to the more spiritual practice, okay? And interestingly enough, as I'm shuffling for you guys before I turn the camera on, we had the card of Taurus come out, or one of the Taurus cards, which is so beautiful, telling me that weirdly you're super in your element here. And you are going to have an opportunity to experience deep transformation, metamorphosis, just like we all are. Every single person in this planet is going through major changes in their life. And you seem to be handling it pretty well in spite of the opposition stuff. A sun-sun opposition can be a little bit weird sometimes. A Venus retrograde opposing sun ascendants and all kind of your major planets can really trigger the areas of your life that need attention, right? Like there's no ignoring it anymore. You can't put it on the back burner. You cannot pretend like it doesn't exist. There's no chance. So here you are, like really tackling it, which is great. There is no denial here. In a weird way, too, I always say the King of Pentacles is kind of like the master of darkness in a way, right? One of the kings that really knows that the negativity and the fear and the insecurities and all these things that we all have, this chattering mind of ours, really is a vehicle through which we can excel. And there's the perseverance quality that in spite of the fear and in spite of the insecurities, we are going to do it anyway because we know that this direction and this path is the road to success. It is the road to awakening, the road to enlightenment, or whatever it is you're trying to do. You're on the right track. And you have the power, the wherewithal, the perseverance, and the persistence to accomplish those things. So this is a really great card to get out right out of the gate. Amazing. Strong, clear-minded, and a sense of knowing what you deserve. A sense of knowing that life has more in store for you. Queen of Cups reverse. Could this be your partner? There seems to be, or a part of yourself. I've been saying this month, I don't know why this is coming out this month. It's either you, someone else, or someone else reflecting something back to you. It's one of those three. It can't be any of those. So the Queen of Cups is someone, there's a lot of emotional repression going on here, which is odd. Queen of Cups could likely be someone who is not handling this Venus retrograde in Scorpio very well at all. Someone who might be going a little bit crazy with their changes. Like they're not acknowledging the beauty of change. And they're trying to control, they're trying to micromanage stuff. Queen of Cups can be really harsh on herself and take that harshness internally out on other people. There's a lot of projection that happens here. And you seem to be a sturdy foundational quality for this person. I suspect there's a possibility that some of you are getting a cold shoulder from someone. You know, the Queen of Cups is like the cardinal water sign, which is Cancer. And she is in her shell, in her crab shell right now. Very hard exoskeleton, very difficult to get to come out. She's not coming out. She's not trying to talk. She's not interested in doing any of these kind of interactive, connecting kind of things. So there seems to be like a stalemate going on. You're focusing on your thing and they're kind of lost in their own little world too. And that's just kind of where we're at. So let's see what other cards come out. Clearly, actually, by the way, I'm going to just be laying these out in the standard 9 card format that I always do. So you'll see when I do the comprehensives how they're laid out. But directionality wise, I was holding it up backwards before. She is looking at the King of Pentacles. Cold shoulder, or maybe you're the one giving the cold shoulder. But either way, there's a coolness here. There could be projections going on to this person projecting a lot of expectations onto you, and you seem to be like, nah, this is a no-go. Like you are not accepting other people's projections right now, which is a really healthy place to be. So good for you. All right, let's see what else comes out here. Oh, wow. Your cards are doing what I call dancing. Another card of Taurus coming out. Can we just talk about how we love the Empress for Taurus? Gaia, the Mother Earth of the zodiac, and how she is so triumphant and so regal in her essence. There is a queen or king, there is a royal-like quality about you. Coming out 2 cards of Taurus, one right after the other, both masculine, both feminine. The Empress is the creative force. She is the one that generates. She is the one that nourishes. And she is the one that brings about the fruits of the efforts. And the king represents the inspiration and the wherewithal and the willpower to accomplish, right? You cannot have one without the other. Without each other, they are meaningless. And you are encompassing both the beautiful divine masculine and divine feminine all at once. An Empress is usually the dictator of how a situation unfolds. I would say that. Of all these cards coming out, she's the most powerful one right now. And it is through your creativity and through your soft heart, which we know you have, that whatever situation, whatever blockage is present, whatever is going on with this person here or with this part of you here, this kind of emotionally intense part, whatever's going on will be resolved, but you need creative solutions. Now, I suspect heavily that service and giving to others, and I don't mean giving to the people that hurt you, all right? We all know how important it is to cut out toxic energies in our life. Some people cannot be helped. Some people just are on their own path and that's it. And you have to recognize that that is their path. But what you can do is take all this bounty, all of this prosperity, all of this wealth, fountain of, get the glare off, this wealth that you have, and begin to share it. Because I suspect that there is someone in your life, at least one person, maybe this person, who really needs your kindness right now, who really needs you to be there, who really needs you to be the one to just listen, I think more than anything, to listen. And I wonder, actually, now that I'm looking at these cards, I'm like, I wonder if this is a person in your life who is afraid to speak. Like I said, they're in their shell. They're afraid to speak. And I'm wondering if you are actually needing to approach them, weirdly. You are needing to approach them to get them to come out of their shell, because there's something going on much deeper than meets the eye. And because your Empress influence, you have a heightened intuition at this particular point in time. What can you do to be of service here? Let's see what else comes out. Pulling out a card that will be directly under the Queen of Cups. Whoa. Yes, they're dancing. Ace of Coins reversed. I wonder if they're struggling with getting something off the ground, if they're struggling with opening up opportunities for themselves. I wonder if their influence in your life, like this could be a significant other, a brother, sister, best friend, whatever. Their influence in your life in turn is also hindering your own ability. Look, you've done and created so much. But whatever it is, whatever this weird kind of tense energy is between the two of you, clearly there is a hindrance in opening up this next chapter. This is kind of like a carrot at the end of the stick. Like, you know that this is here. The good thing is that it is here. And whenever an ace comes out, whether it's upright or reversed, it does mean that it's in the cards for you and that it is in your future. It's just delayed, and there's something that needs to be fixed or rectified before it really comes to you. You seem to be busy doing a lot of other things, so you might not even really notice the absence of this, really. But the other person seems to be really clinging to the absence of this. There's a sense of, I'm getting a feeling of desperation from that Queen of Cups. Of desperation, like they're putting on such a strong, brave face, but at the same time, they are extremely vulnerable inside, and they're not willing to admit it. And this is the thing that they think is going to help them to become less vulnerable. Unfortunately, we all know that that's not the case, right? That sense of empowerment really does need to come from within. They're looking to outside sources. And in a way, they're also looking to you to really validate them, to validate their existence, to validate their emotions. And I don't suggest you do that, because that never really helps. It's not really beneficial. However, you can still be there for them and show them the path, right? Show them the path to prosperity, because you have done so much inner work. You actually do have golden nuggets to give to people, right? You actually do have bits of gold within you. This is a classic teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime scenario. Teach a man to fish. What is it that you are afraid of here, Taurus? There's a lot of resistance. I'm getting the Seven of Swords coming out. I always say self-sabotage with this card too. When you really let your fear and doubt get the best of you, and you allow that chatty, nonsensical mind in you, right? What did I say? Sometimes it's weird. It's not even weird anymore. It's like, okay, it doesn't make sense, right? The first thing I said, conquering your darkness. Well, the Seven of Swords is the blackness of that throne. It is using that dark part of your duality. And I don't mean that dark is bad. I'm not associating that at all. It's just the unconscious or the subconscious programming, right, from birth or even beyond birth from previous lifetimes, that are trying to get you to do something, and it's so ego driven and it is so superficial, and you know that there's a higher purpose. You know that you need to just kind of let life do life's thing and not intervene, but yet your fears are going to be very present this month. You really need to let whatever this situation is just unfold as it's needed. The minute that you start having like preferences in your mind, that's the Seven of Swords, right? Letting your preferences and letting these kinds of like I always say it as negative self-talk. The minute you have that kind of stuff coming into your mind, you have to just find a way to really let it go. Because what the life is really trying to give you, what is underneath the Ace of Coins reversed, actually is the Ten of Cups. Right? It actually is the best of the best. This is what life wants you to have. Now, this person is causing a lot of stress, a lot of strain in the connection. You seem to be not very interested in stuff. You seem to not really be interested in being the nurturing or caring, because of that person, that they are projecting. And it's hard for us to comfort someone who's projecting because it endangers our own energy. And to open ourselves up and to be giving to that person, it puts ourselves kind of in a line of fire there. So it is important for you to do your part, but again, to really know where to draw that line, because it could very easily become a codependent situation, and Taurus cannot vibe with that. It is not, it's not a good place for you to be. So like I said, you have to give them the path, but they have to learn how to walk that path on their own. And I think that they do. I think that they will work through it, and they will see that it's not the Ace of Coins that they want. It's not the little emotional validation that they need, like answer my texts right away. It's not that kind of stuff. There's something much deeper going on. But somehow you are the answer for them. It's amazing how people come into our lives at certain particular moments in time, and they teach us so much. And then somehow we find ourselves in other people's lives at a particular time, and we help them so much. Right now, you are the helper. You are the guide. And no matter what your relationship with that person, your presence in their life is incredibly meaningful. Yes, it is so critical for you to remain detached as we get the Four of Cups. This is not a time for you to feel sorry for someone. It's not a time for you to, this is a tough love scenario. And I know that what this person is going to try to give you is not going to really be appealing to you. It's not going to speak to you very well. And that is because it's all based on an unexamined self on their part. And you do need to distance. This is the difference between sympathy and empathy and compassion. Compassion is including detachment, feeling what another person can feel without being sucked into it. And here you have that power here. I don't like the presence of the Seven of Swords, and now we get the Page of Swords in reverse. Sorry, Seven of Swords and Page of Swords in reverse here, because I'm getting a lying feeling, which is very common with a water sign reverse, where they do try to kind of manipulate the scenario. They do try to get certain things from certain people. You know what I mean? They have that power to play the victim very well. And I do feel a sense of deception here. However, like I said, it's going to be very transparent. The interesting thing, and I said this last month in almost all my videos too, the thing about a Venus retrograde in Scorpio is it's all about authenticity. And when people are not being authentic and transparent and truthful, it is so pathetically obvious. And it's you feel bad for those people because of how unexamined they are. And there's a sense of pity almost. And the word, and that's a bad thing, right? To feel pity for another person who just can't quite figure it out. But that's the time. We have to live in truth. People that aren't taking that road are just going to be setting themselves up for more drama down the line. And you don't need that. None of us need that. It's not something that this life is really intended for. So authenticity at its finest. Got a couple more weeks of this transit. And then we go into the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius in your 8th house. So you do have a lot of this Scorpio 8th house push and draw toward truth. Well, okay. So Moon. Yeah, there's that deceptive stuff. I think ultimately you guys are going to work it out. We get the Two of Cups here. I don't think this is a forever thing. I think it's quite temporary. But the Moon and the Two of Cups and the Four of Swords. See, this goes very well with the Four of Cups, because the Four of Cups, well, the fours in general are the most mature of the numbered cards. They all have this foundational, quiet, peaceful energy about them. And to have the peace of mind as the swords and the peace of heart with the cups suggests that you're in a very powerful place. The Moon is the kind of psychic, telepathic quality, meaning that you really can see directly into this person. This person is wearing a mask, but they don't know that their mask is transparent. Like, they don't know that you can just see right through it. And so that's why I'm saying it's like funny. It's like you pity them because they really don't have that level of self-awareness. But I think you guys work it out. Otherwise, we wouldn't get the Two of Cups. I think you come to some kind of an agreement. Clearly, there is some balance that is attained. Perhaps you really do show them that this is not really what they want, that this is the illusion, and this is what they're really after. But the path to this is not the Ace of Coins. It is something else. It is self-study. And I always say this is my student of the tarot. And people that have this reverse, they're not at that 10,000 foot vantage point, right? They're standing on the ground just looking at their little point of view reference, and they have no idea that they're sitting in this gigantic city, right? They're just like, oh, I'm in a little neighborhood. Like, no, I'm in a huge place. I'm in a huge city. There's mountains and forests and everything around me. And that comes with education, right? That understanding, that elevated kind of frame of mind, frame of reference comes from education. They're just not educated enough. Perhaps what you give them is a path to education or a reference for them to educate themselves about who they are. The Moon is weird. The Moon makes things weird. So I'm not surprised that you're getting this. It always kind of creates this delusionary effect. Someone living in a delusion, someone living in some kind of fantasy world. But the fact of the matter is you don't need to get sucked down into it. Right now, the name of the game is one step in front of the other, and that is all you can do, right? Faith, and that's another thing I do love about the King of Pentacles, and in essence, just your whole archetype in general, Taurus. The slow persistence of the Taurian energy is one that we all could really have a little bit more of. And I'm even a Virgo, and even sometimes I wish I was better at just persistence. And that's what you have here. So there's lots to clarify in the comprehensive, right? Queen of Cups, Seven of Swords, the Page of Swords reversed, the Moon, this Ace of Coins reversed. So there is a lot to talk about. I hope to see you guys there. If not, I will see you next month. All right. Thank you guys so much. Take care.